Te Wairua o Aotearoa, the spirit of New Zealand. From the first time I visited New Zealand as a child, there was something that struck me about this place. There's a purity in the air, an energy of peace that emanates from the ground. For me, it has been a place to exhale and to rest, a place to return to connection and simplicity. 2 years ago, I found myself disillusioned, estranged from myself, the world around me, and everything I'd ever known to be true. I was raised religious, and up until that point, my whole life revolved around church, Sunday school, youth group, even becoming a missionary and traveling the world for 5 years. But as I was met with death, tragedy, and the pain of broken relationships, the answers I'd been given my whole life just didn't work anymore. It was as if the floor had fallen out from underneath me and my only true north had vanished. It felt like I was the only one going through something like that, and I felt utterly alone. But then, it happened. I had previously booked a trip to New Zealand, but I had given up on it after my plans fell through due to some tragic circumstances. Just days before my flight was set to depart, I had this unshakable feeling that I needed to get to New Zealand. Little did I know that would change the course of my life. I made some last-minute arrangements, boarded a plane, and flew across the Tasman. I showed up at the doorstep of a complete stranger's house, where I was planning to stay for 3 weeks. It just so happened that he had been on a similar journey to me. As we sat and talked for hours on end, I began to feel like I wasn't crazy, like I wasn't the only one. Then one day, while standing on the top of a mountain, overlooking the sea, I had the thought, I could just move here. I didn't quite know how I'd make that happen, but I had this feeling that I knew I needed to move somewhere where no one knew my name. Somewhere where I could reinvent myself and have a fresh start. Through his connections, my new friend helped to get me a job with the New Zealand Parliament. So, it was settled. I briefly returned to Australia to pack my things and headed back quickly. The months that followed still weren't easy, and I wasn't out of the woods yet. But I was glad to be in a place that felt safe to detox and reset. I began to meet new people and make new friendships. I even joined a church where the people there held space for me and didn't make me feel pressure to believe or not believe anything. They simply showed me love without all the religious nonsense that had hurt me so much in the past. Slowly, it felt like I was coming back into my own body, and like the colors were returning to the world around me. I heard a whisper in the wind say, "The winter is over." I'll soon be returning to my homeland of Canada, but I'll never forget the pivotal role that New Zealand had in my journey of restoration. To New Zealand, aroha nui, and ka kite.